Okay, this is Stewart Heating Inc.'s first podcast episode from the field to ownership. How we do HVAC and plumbing the right way. My name is Ryan Stewart, and
I'm Erick Silahua.
All right, so let's get going. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure thing.
Can you explain what a comfort advisor actually does and how it's different from a salesperson?
Yeah, so a comfort advisor conducts a in-home consultation, assesses homeowners' needs for heating and cooling. We also explain options and present solutions based on customer satisfaction, energy efficiency, and their budget. So our job mainly is to be trustworthy and knowledgeable, to be a trustworthy and knowledgeable guide, and to simplify complex technical decisions for homeowners. It's not just about making a sale, but it's about establishing a long-term relationship with our customers.
Okay, great. And how do you think the customers like your delivery of your information to them?
Well, I think that they definitely appreciate the knowledge that we bring to the table. Being knowledgeable, just in general, but especially in this HVAC, the HVAC systems, it's important because we need to know what we're installing. Anybody can just buy a system, but you have to have that knowledge to know how to do it correctly and efficiently, and most importantly, safely. So that's something that they very much appreciate, and it makes them feel more comfortable allowing us in the door to get the job done.
That's great. Thank you for that. How does your experience in HVAC help you guide customers instead of just selling equipment to them?
Well, the experience definitely helps, especially with picking the correct equipment. So having the knowledge to know how the system's supposed to run and what they need in their home will help them make the best decision for their home and their needs. It's not just about making the sale. We want to make sure that they're getting what they need out of the system, and that it's also going to work for their budget. So once we establish that, then we can perform the installation based on that.
Is there any kind of technique or anything that you do to ensure that the system is sized correctly?
Yeah, so we can do a series of different tests. First off, we have to see how big the house is, what kind of home it is. Every home is different. We do what's called a manual J, where we can come out and see how much leakage there is in the airflow. If there is leakage, we have to size for that. A house with a vaulted ceiling will be different than a flat ceiling. A house with no insulation in the attic will be different than one that's heavily insulated, and so on. So we do check for a number of these items to make sure that the sizing of the system is appropriate to what the house itself needs. There are some homes that are large that don't require very much, and there are some that are very small that require a monster because the house isn't properly insulated or doesn't have adequate sealing throughout the house. It needs to be sealed properly. And we do look at these things before installing a new system, just to make the homeowner aware of what other things they can do for the best possible outcome.
Great, okay. And do you think that homeowners get the same out of every company, meaning that if another company comes out, are they gonna do a manual J heat load calculation? Are they gonna look at the size of the ductwork? Are they gonna look at the insulation to determine whether or not they're putting in a system that's oversized or undersized? In your experience, what do you?
Well, I can't speak for every company just because there's so many companies out there, but from my experience and from what I've seen, not every company will do that. For example, one of the biggest certifications that we have in our company is that we are all NATE certified, which only about 13% of the companies nationwide have the certification. There are a number of other things like what you're saying with the manual J companies that may or may not do that. I know that for us, we want to make sure to do every single thing that's in our power to get our customer the best system that they can use for their home.
Okay, well, it sounds to me like that makes customers feel confident in their decision to buy from you and confident that they're gonna get, that they're making the right decision when choosing our company based on your representation and your professional opinion. Is there anything else that you do to assure that they're doing the right thing and helping them make good decisions about using us?
There are many companies that like to come out and just offer them whatever they want, whatever they have in their book or they're offering that day. Maybe they're special. Like when you go to a restaurant, they say, hey, this is what we're offering today, and that's the only option you give them. A lot of companies do that. I like to take my time with each customer. I like to learn about them and their habits and how they use the system and when they need to use the system the most. There's a lot of people nowadays working from home that need it more continuously than others, more consistently. But I like to take the time, make sure that I get to learn from the customer, and so I can advise them on what may be the best based on their end goal. We don't worry about pricing until the very end, and once we finally decided on which system it is that they need, based on what they want to accomplish.
Okay, cool. And how does commercial HVAC how is commercial HVAC different than residential HVAC?
So commercial HVAC, which we also do here at Stewart Heating and Air, requires, let me back up. They have a wider variety of options. There's a lot more equipment, a lot more sizes. There's different fittings, different materials that need to be used. And with all that, there's also much more experience needed, a different kind of experience. And we have several different technicians. There are many technicians throughout the country, throughout the world, but not every single one can feel comfortable and capable of working on a commercial system. They do go through extensive training and just experience overall working on these systems to make sure they can get the job done the right way. Sometimes these systems can be very complex, so it requires a special skill to actually work on them. Just like any doctor would have their certain specialty, we do have technicians who specialize on working on these systems, just because it has to be that way. We need to make sure that they are capable of getting the job done right.
What is something that you think that people don't expect or they don't realize while planning a commercial HVAC project?
I think the biggest misconception is that with HVAC, although it is one system or multiple systems at a time, that they think that the timing is going to be straightforward, that it's a one-day job or a one-week job, and sometimes it's just not like that. There's a number of contractors working at the same time. Sometimes it's a brand new build, brand new location. Sometimes it's just changing out an old system for a new system, but most of the time there tends to be other people working there. You have HVAC, plumbing, electricians, and so on. And sometimes working with multiple people at the same time can delay a job. And it's something that people need to be prepared for before booking installation at a commercial job site. And this goes for any trade, whatever they're doing. Just know that there may be delays in time based on what's needed before moving to the next step.
Very good. You have any questions for me?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering, I've been here for a little while now, but I was just wondering what it was that got you started here at Stewart Heating and Air.
Yeah, so my dad started the company in 1960 actually, and we became a corporation in 1974. I was 3 months old when he went from a sole proprietorship to a corporation. What got me started was about junior year in high school. Looking out the window, I realized I wasn't made to go to college, and so I wanted to find something else for a career, and spent most of my high school looking out the window because I didn't want to be there. But so I went to architectural sheet metal trade school to become a sheet metal craftsman right out of high school. my dad had a rule that you had to work for somebody else for a minimum of 5 years before you could work with him. My older brother, Danny, he went to work for somebody in Alameda County, and I went to Napa Valley to the wine country, and worked up there for about 7 years, and then finally went to work and joined my older brother at my dad's company. So that's kind of how it all came about. I came to work here in 1995, and I think I've been here almost 31 years. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
So I talked a little bit about how important doing a good job is to me as a comfort advisor and to us as a company, but just curious, why is it doing things the right way? Why is that so important to you?
Well, I think that repeat business and referrals and the customers being happy with the work you do in their homes is important. And I think that once you commit to the service call, or once you commit to install the furnace or air conditioner or their water heater or whatever you're doing, that you better do it right. And making money and being profitable is kind of after the fact. You have to do the job right, and if something gets overlooked and it's something you didn't figure and it's going to take more time and cost more, you need to do it anyways, because it's a lot easier to get a homeowner or existing customer to call us again than it is to acquire a new customer. So I think that's super important.
Okay. Well, you and I both know that this isn't for everybody. It's definitely one of those traits that you're either made for it or you're not. So what is it that you look for when you're hiring a new technician?
I look for honest people. I look for people that have skills, and if they don't have skills, at least the mechanical aptitude to pick up a wrench or pick up something and work with their hands. Somebody that can use a tape measure, that has used power tools, and it's just an honest person that's willing to work. We do a lot of training here, and we don't mind bringing in people that we call green and teaching them what is needed to do the work that we do, whether you're a service technician or an installation technician. We just want honest people that want to work hard and do a good job.
How would you say the company culture affects the quality our customers receive?
I think that when you go into a customer's house, if you came from the office or the warehouse, and you have a good feeling about your job, you have a good feeling about your supervisor, if you're at ease with your job and your security of your job, and you feel like you're being paid fairly, and you feel good about where you work, I think that reflects as you go into Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner's house to do work on their home. You don't feel like you have to rush through it. You can take your time and do it right. We'd rather take a little longer to do a job and do it right. And I think that reflects in the culture of this company. We want positive reviews, we want to do a great job, and we want the homeowners to know that we're doing a good job for them.
Now, basing it directly to our community, what kind of reputation is something that you want us to have here in this town, this community?
I would say that we're honest and that we don't try to rip people off, and that we'll always do the right thing. We do have a good reputation here in Contra Costa County. We do give to several charities every year. We help with different types of families and do things in the community around holidays, especially Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. We do a back to school drive where we buy backpacks and school supplies for kids, and meals for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we also do a toy drive where we buy, gifts and stuff for kids that can't afford their gifts for themselves. So I think that's important, but I also think just being an honest company and trying to be honest for our customers and the people around us. We have a lot of customers here in this town, and a lot of repeat business because of that.
Okay, well, I just have one final question. What is it that made you want to start this podcast, and who do you hope listens?
Every homeowner in Contra Costa County, I hope they listen. The reason I wanted to start the podcast was to get out the good word about us and to get out the good reputation that we have. And We want quality homeowners to work with us. We want quality families to work with, and I just wanted to get another avenue to get our name out there, because I know that quality contractors are hard to come by.
Yeah.
They're very hard to come by. And so when you come to work with us, or you call us for a service call or any type of service, I think you're going to be happy.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.